This lesson is to help you review some of the skills associated with Chapter 1 that some people did not do very well on the test. The first thing we have here is a picture of a function, but we have no equation, you'll notice. The first question is to find the domain of f. The domain is the x values, so we're looking left to right. I should have some arrows down here. We're looking left to right, and notice that the allowable x values go from -infinity to infinity. We want to write this in interval notation. So -infinity to infinity with the parentheses. The range refers to the y values. So as we look, the lowest y value appears to be -infinity, goes down forever this way, and the greatest y value is 4. So this interval is written from -infinity to 4, including 4. The x-intercepts. The x-intercepts are the places where the graph of f crosses the x-axis. So those could be written as points in point notation, or just the x-intercepts, the x values, -2 and 2. The y-intercept is the place where the graph itself crosses the y-axis, and we can see that there at 0, 4. So you could write that as 0, 4 or just 4. Okay. The interval on which f is increasing. So the interval, the x-interval, on which the function is increasing. So that's as we read the graph from left to right, where is it increasing or going uphill? So that appears to be here. Then it gets to the top of the hill. So we want to give the x values where that's occurring. So that's going to be from -infinity up to x equals 0 right here. Okay, so right here, x equals 0. So those are the x values on which the function is increasing. This here can either be parenthesis or bracket when you're talking about intervals of increasing and decreasing. All right, the x interval on which the function is decreasing, so that's going to be here. And that interval is from 0 to +infinity. The next question is at what x number, does f, the function, have a relative maximum? So we see that that occurs right here at the point 0, 4. So the number at which the function has a relative maximum is 0, and that maximum is 4. The next question is f of -2. That means find the y value when x is -2. So we see x is -2 here, and that y value is 0. For what value or values is f of x equal to -2? So f of x, remember, is y. So y equals -2 here. So those points are going to be right there and right there. Let's estimate those to be -2.4 and +2.4. Notice we're estimating all of these things from the graph itself because we do not have an equation for this, although we will write it momentarily. For what value or values of x is f of x, remember that's y equal to 0. So again, where y equals 0 is going to be the x-intercepts. Let's get a different color. X-intercepts here, y equals 0. So that's going to be -2 and 2 again. For what values of x is f of x, remember that's y greater than 0. So we can see on the graph that that's going to be here, where the y values are greater than 0 is this part of the graph. So the x values where that occurs are from -2 to 2, non-inclusive. Okay, so this is interval notation. Is f of 100 positive or negative? So this is is the y value when x is 100, positive or negative? You can see as x gets infinitely large going this way, what's happening to the graph is it's going down and down and down forever. So this is definitely going to be negative. Next question, is the function even, odd, or neither? Remember when we're looking at a graph that even refers to symmetry about the y-axis, which this function has. So that one's even. The average rate of change, remember that this is slope. So in order to find the slope, you use your slope formula, which requires 2 points. So far, all we have are the x values of the points, so we need to find the y values of the points as well. All right, and we just do this by looking at the graph. So where x is -2, the y value is 0 there. And when x is 1, that point is here, y is 3. So the slope is then 3 minus 0 over 1 minus -2. So that will be 3 over 3, which is 1. Last thing let's do is write an equation for this. It's clearly a parabola, so the parent is going to be y equals x squared. So we're going to base our equation off of this. Okay, that's the parent. That's right there. And then we can see that it's upside down. And we can see that the vertex is moved up 4. So this looks like it will be y equals, or f of x equals, negative x squared plus 4.